A lot of respect for Baylor. Dave Aranda's a really good coach, good friend, good program, and I am unbelievably so proud of our players. I just said to Chris Level on the radio, they just continue to get off the mat and fight. And, we use that analogy a lot this week of getting set, getting reset, getting refocused. And they did it, and they fight, and they spill their guts, and they put it all on line. And it's hard to win in the Big 12. It's an every week thing, and we had guys step up for the first time all year, and you lose guys, and they're unavailable. You find out on Wednesday, you find out on Thursday, and, man, what a crazy ride the year 2020 is. But, again, I'm just so proud of our players. I guess we'll go ahead and take questions.
Go ahead and start us off, Don.
Matt, so Roderick's run there at the end, did he go down on his own, or was he coached to do that, especially in light of the way the Texas game ended?
Yeah, Don, that's something that we have practiced. We felt like there was enough time on the clock for them to have a chance to come back, and if he broke through in the first down, whether he got a little closer to the goal line would have been good, but that's something that we do practice, not a lot, but we do, and just enough time on the clock for them to go down and make it a game or a competitive game, or for them to win, and didn't want to give them any chance to win it.
And so obviously you felt pretty confident in Jonathan right there. Can you speak to Jonathan's week and his game? And also, tech kickers in the past have told me about, on a windy day like today, some of that wind coming out of the southwest tunnel, nothing is a gimme. So
Don, Don, that wind came out of the southwest tunnel. It came out of the northeast corner towards the southwest tunnel. And at one point, it was blowing east at our back on our sidelines. It swirled. The Red Raider football gods turned that thing from north headed south there at the end for us, and we had the win in the fourth quarter. But let's talk about Jonathan Garibay, story of the weekend. We made the change on Monday and put him in at field goal kicker. He obviously kicked off too, and then he finds out Wednesday night or maybe Thursday morning that he's going to have to punt as well. He's never punted before. He punted for a 49-yard average, and he's 4 for 4 on field goals. Just so proud of the young man, and another guy on our team that just answered the bell.
Go to Jarrett Johnson.
Hey, Coach. Much has been made about kind of the struggles late in games, but entered the fourth quarter with a double-digit deficit, scored 3 times on offense, got 3 stops on defense. Can you just kind of speak to the team's performance there in that fourth quarter?
Tremendous fourth quarter, Jarrett, performance. I think it's a reflection of the resiliency of these players, Jarrett. Where we have failed, we've learned. And when we have failed, we've gotten back up and continue to practice hard. And we've practiced those situations. And, I think the vibe on the sideline was good. But, again, the resiliency of our players to continue just to fight. You get down those 2 scores and no letdown on the sidelines. The vibe was good. And, the defense, man, those 3 stops were huge to get the ball back in the hands of the offense like you mentioned.
Go to Carlos.
And then Alan Bowman, can you kind of talk about the decision to play him this week and then his performance there in the second half?
Yeah, really good fourth quarter, Jarrett. We made the decision to play both of them. Didn't have a set plan. We're just going to play the hot hand. Honestly, neither one of them were real consistent in the first half. Alan had a heck of a fourth quarter, and a fourth quarter comeback, and that's what quarterbacks, I think, can be known for, and that's what quarterbacks want to be known for. And a tremendous performance around him. I thought we ran the ball very well. Taj had some really big runs. So Roderick had a big run, especially on the little dump down that Allen gave him. easy, Vash, big catches, Keyshawn Carter, big catch. So, again, guys around him making plays makes a quarterback's job a lot easier.
Go to Carlos.
Matt, I know you kind of mentioned the defensive stops, but how much did that Colin Schooler stop at the goal line really fire up the defense just from a mentality standpoint? Not only that, but then just from a scoring perspective, because had he scored, it might have been 27-12, and then obviously things changed.
Yeah. It fired me up. I know that, Carlos. I think it fired the crowd up. It fired our whole team up. That's a 4-point tackle. And Colin's sitting right here. It was a 4-point tackle. Huge play in the game.
Go to Eric Kelly.
Hey, Coach. Talk about Colin. What about the play of Zach McPherson? Obviously the interception, but then that big pass breakup on third down.
Zach, our whole secondary really continues to play very solid the last month. Zach, DeMarcus Fields had some nice plays. We played Rabbit, Dadrion Taylor, Adam Beck in there playing a lot. But all those guys have I think, gotten better. Coach Jones and Coach Patterson have done a good job with them, and they have played very steady. And I think it's been a steadying influence on the defense.
Go to Shihan.
Hey,
man.
Coach. I know that. How are you doing, Coach?
Good, buddy.
They were talking a little bit on the broadcast about how Jonathan kind of hadn't seen his family in a long time, and they were able to come down here. What's kind of the story behind that?
Yeah, it's a really cool story. To my understanding, they haven't ever seen him kick in college. Being from California and having a hard time getting in here to Lubbock, and so it was really cool. I think I know his mom and 2 sisters, and I think a couple other family members were here to see him play, and saw him last night. Very emotional night, right after our walkthrough, for him to be able to see them. But again, we may have to get them in here every weekend. What a performance he made, or that he had.
Yeah, you mentioned that when you say that he hasn't punted, has he not punted at the college level, or how did you prepare him for this week?
He practiced on Thursday and Friday. He didn't find out he was punting until Wednesday or Thursday. He was a field goal kicker and kicking off. But, all those guys, they punt or they kick, but they don't, they specialize. And so they don't even do it often. But I guess they all practice it. But to my knowledge, you'll have to ask him. I don't want to speak. I don't know if he's ever punted in a game. I didn't quite ask him. We just didn't have any options.
Go back to Don.
Matt, when Keyshawn Carter got hurt there after catching that pass late in the game, obviously it's not good. You don't want to see any player get injured, but it sort of serves effectively as a timeout for you. Did that enable you to plan the drive anymore, an extra play or two, or just have a settling effect on your offense? Times have kind of a settling effect on your people?
Yeah, I think so, Don. I think that happens kind of naturally, and it did give David some time to maybe get a couple more thoughts together right there.
Go back to Jarrett.
Hey, Coach, a couple questions for you. First off, what is Columbi's status? Do you know? Because it looked like he was getting some attention for his elbow. Do you know what his status is?
Yeah, he's a go, but he banged it, hit it pretty good.
And then, in terms of this victory, considering coming off the loss, the way the game ended last week, and some tough losses this season, how big was this victory and the way you did it, coming back in the fourth quarter like you did?
Oh. As hard as it is to win in the Big 12, I think they're all big. I'll say this, it's the biggest win of the year. I know that. We needed it. Our players needed it. Our coaches needed it. But, the focus wasn't so much on winning. It was just about executing. It was about staying together and fighting. And I tell you what, the fight mentality of this locker room right now, they're a bunch of fighters. And they continue to stick together. We can, we can finish good. That's what we want to do is finish. Got a bye week, got a chance to, freshen these guys up, and we will, their bodies and their minds. And we got 2 tough games left. And, the focus will be on finishing, but big win for the Red Raiders today.
Go to Brandon.
Hey, Coach. Just wondering about that spike at the end of the game. Allen spiked it, then you ran the play. Just wondering if that was called or
Yep.
if you decided not to just run a play.
Yep.
Awesome. And then your D-line, can you talk about how they played, especially Tony Bradford?
Tony Bradford, again, another guy coming off an injury from a couple of weeks ago. Really the heart and soul of that D-line, he and Jay Boogie. And those guys, Tony's a great leader and a great young man, and I think he inspires everybody up there on that D-line.
Go to Eric, then Sheehan, then we'll close with Don.
Coach, what does it say about some of your guys where they can step up in some of the biggest moments, even if they haven't been involved in games? We talked about TJ had some big catches. Dalton had his first catch in a while. Obviously, Allen coming off the bench after not having played in a while. It's good guys to be in those moments, even when they haven't felt them in like a couple weeks.
Yeah. Good point, Eric. Every one of those guys you just mentioned, you can add Dadrion Taylor to that mix. Dadrion gets a start, and my guess is he probably played 75% of the game at free safety and hadn't done that. And I think he played very solid. So, then you got Garibay. And, McLean Mannix got in and played on special teams and made a huge play on punt. And so we got guys stepping up, and that's the essence of being a great teammate is stepping up, but also being ready when called upon. And those guys played well tonight.
Go to Sheehan.
Obviously at the end there, it looks like you guys were really kind of playing for that field goal, and with the kicker, obviously, this was his first week. I mean, what kind of went into that decision, and what kind of confidence do you have in that entire special teams defense?
Yeah, you gain confidence in their performance, right, Sheehan? And they, I knew if we got it in there, felt really good about his chance of making it, and there he went, split the uprights.
Finish with Don.
Matt, following up on a couple of things. So you said Columbia could have gone back in.
Yes, sir.
You said you were comfortable with that at that point. Okay, so with what you've seen today, what does that make your quarterback situation?
Oh, we'll evaluate it tomorrow and the next day, Don. I think we're going to need a lot of people to win the rest of the way out and to finish strong, and probably going to need both of these quarterbacks.
Also, what were you told about what happened to Jalen Hutchings there? Late third, early fourth, the radio crew said that he collapsed on the sideline and took some oxygen and then went back in a while later.
I think he played too many snaps in a row, Don. 300-pound nose guard.
Okay.
He went back in.
Yeah, right.
Yes, sir. You're talking about Jalen, not Tony Bradford, right?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Jalen.
Just needed to get some breath.
Okay.
Get his breath.
Also, effort has
Where
never
am I
really
from?
been a question with these guys or with your team. But what can this do for buy-in, or just the help reinforce the belief that
Yeah.
in their minds that they can get it done?
Yeah, Don, I would say what it does is it reinforces the confidence in the teammates. It reinforces the trust in the processes and our coaches and the schemes that we're doing. I don't think it adds any more buy-in. Don, you don't play as hard as these guys have played over the last 3 weeks, even when we had tough losses, and continue to get off the mat and continue to fight if they're not bought in. So I think what it does is it just reinforces everything, from our process to the way we practice to our prep, but it also reinforces the trust in each other. And I think it was, our special teams is not played well for the last few weeks. Can't say that tonight. Whether it was the field goal unit, the punt team, our kickoff cover team, those guys did a really nice job, and I think it just reinforces all of that, and definitely a big win and a confidence booster, I think, for all of us.
All All right, thanks, Coach. We'll start with